Welcome to another episode of At Disclosure. This is your host, Samuel Six. All that fabulous fun. Wednesday evening. Oh, we're here trying to convince Arba, try to see if she'll hop this way in order to share my chicken noodle soup. And as only turned out this way for so fact that it's Robert mixed with can of chicken. Just about a can of tuna. Throw it in there, mix in a couple spuds at boiling them. Oh, man. You're just too busy escaping on the obvious. Well, let her be. But I need to clarify a few things. Ain't that right, Arba? Ooh. She usually bites here. She gets into this feeding frenzy when she starts biting. But yeah, we had to clarify a few things. Gone to Reddy's Corner. Uh, and being attentive by Berger from Reddy's Corner. You can't say his name without associating Berger with. And he has a little partner. His other family member. Usually once in a while have his wife and his kid there. His kid, little girl. Well, he ain't that little, but been going out for over 20 years. And I gone there last summer and freaking he was watching something. I'm thinking it might have been Narcos Mexico or pretty sure that was what he was watching. So titled El Brujo. So I go in there and he's watching this. I place my order on the table, and when his back was turned, I simply read what was coming up next. So I'm not taking it personal, so I'm all reaching out. One of my cousins called Cody and and her Nina, not her Nina, but her daughter's Nina, her Tia Alec. Uh, so yeah, man, freaking ever since this little little story that I started for her daughter, and just remembered that freaking Berser thought that I was actually calling him a brujo. And it's like, nah, this is just Narcos Mexico, and just reading the title. That's it. So with that being said, then we had Phoenix PD right through the front. This is that's how the ambulance there. So freaking they're all they're all excusing it. Well, not much of an excuse, but like, so what you gonna vouch for them? You gonna excuse? You have an excuse for them? So they're like, oh, he's old, and I'm like, well, not old enough. If I had to find out certain things, and it could be anything. I could be mentioning anybody's name, and all of a sudden, someone's actually willing to believe that. Even out here at Marvilla luxury condominiums, I could say any name right now, and someone's actually willing to believe if I wear my vest 90% of the time. And I'm trying to calculate that exactly to a certain extent because I received my vest at Central and Broadway, uh, Bank of America by Airman, Bank Account, Robert Brooks, Turn Major. And before that, I got taken by measurements, Sunset West N.H.R. Johnson Boulevard, by Stephen Merritt, Bank Account Merritt, Turn Major also. So, uh, I'm sitting down a pew. For the looks of it, it was a former church. So I'm sitting there and having my measurements taken. I'm sitting on a pew, slightly taller than Stephen Merritt, and but not without his merits. Basically distributed. Well, it's genetics. I'm thinking if anything was manipulated, my overall what's I say structure. What's the word for height? Not status. I'll remember eventually when it comes to stature. There it goes. Oh, I played basketball, wrestling, football. Uh, let's see. So it's genetics. Yeah, I probably skip some Z's. But at the end of the day, it's you know, it's all due to genetics. Do feel uh, my mind now. I feel a difference because I'm not gonna lie to you. My overall height at one point 6'2", age of 15. So age of 15, and you know, you chromosomes multiply, and they just don't duplicate the same as before. they come out slightly different annually, so you're shrinking as you speak. But at the same time, too, you don't stop growing. You have growth spurts, so uh, maybe some sleep deprivation. They prevent you at one point. That's usually the time you tend to tend to grow more effectively, efficiently. So that's when the brain undergoes its 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 activity levels. It's during sleep. It's heightened. That's why the blood rushes to your brain. And uh, so you got to consider what you had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, depending on how you're sleeping at. So uh, you could just imagine all the blood rushing there. So if you're going to Reddy's corner and announcing Mustangs, are you ready? You're probably gonna get an answer from that. And it's funny going in there. A lot of times I go in there and I'll take pictures. And freaking Berserk, he'll strain his posture. He's like, see, but that's the thing though. As soon as anyone knows anything about me, oh, he's going up the street, he's going to Reddy's Corner, he's going to the park, he's going to Spectrum, Christown. He's going to conduct his audits. Going to three major banks: Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America. Not only that, but I'll go inside the mall, and occasionally I'll offer my protection tech services. This this brand, this protection provider differentiates us from the rest. So you would ask yourself, okay, so what qualifies you to be a customer protection officer to which is part, or a bank protection officer, it's part of the customer protection officer division. Now this was offered through G4 Secure Solution at one point when it was the Wack and Hunt Corporation, through the merger with Wack and Hunt, G4 Secure Solution in Vegas, and that's where I came up with Foundation Confusion because of Jesse Leo over at Concentric Fountainhead, Tempe, Arizona. So I had some people pass by, and same thing too, across way over there. They were under the impression that I might have had autism. So I simply tell them, well, if autism spoke, what would he say? And as soon as I said that, little Orwell came out here and asked just a simple question. As soon as I asked, what would autism say? What's going on there, Arba? How you doing? I'm okay. You develop anxiety from many situations. You learn the hard way. You gotta realize it's out of your control. You can't change a person ever. You get hit on with hammers. Like a scumbag, that little shit. So I gave Phoenix PD his description. He had gone in there. It seems like almost every day. He had gone in there yesterday. You go hammer. Even before going upstairs. That's why I hit you with hammers. So like, why the hell would you need to do that? Do you see me going up there hitting anyone with anything? You know what I'm trying to tell you? It's pathetic. Just because the manager thinks we got to get after the damage done to me and my family. Just like at 22nd Avenue and Palmyra. There's no reason. This is what I was telling Bailey, Eric. Hey, man, freaking, there's something wrong with society in order to justify what you do on you because at one point you might have been a cleaner. Some bullshit. How the hell you gonna make that okay? Two wrongs don't make a right. You prove this to me. Being God's greatest country, you couldn't freaking show me a police report. And even they admit it. Oh, it's because he's been accused of striking an animal. When did you ever see me do that? Clean record. Well, you wonder, one thing I hate is bad mouthing QB first. I say how I was that day, but I'm not going to badmouth it outside of that. When that building was built, it was a real nice building, marble building, 3 stories. I remember Royal William show up. Place looks good. You guys are going to have trouble with the back exit, which is located literally where that gate is. The freaking street's there, literally, like just probably from like here to the sidewalk, and you would just approach it, go in there. In case the building pressure, there was a problem with the building pressure, not regulated. So I'm gonna easily piggyback in and before you know it. But yeah, freaking, it's about the only thing Uh, that happened. There, my vehicle got surrounded. I've said this before. I received like sleeping pills. So gave Major McNeese, air supervisor for Battle Creek, Michigan, police officer, Major McNeese, air supervisor. I'm relocating, but what took to get there. I sometimes wonder if I don't know if you yelled at Lucian Cornell because, to my understanding tonight, that's what I came to the realization. They want to believe it. I always consider Lucian Cornell a businessman in every aspect. He answered every phone. Y eso me consta. I'm in the office, and he sees me smirking. That could be the determining factor whether you live or die. Be honest with you. Same thing too with uh, when we saw on 27 Virginia, eastbound from here. Um, we'd go to my friend's house, Aaron Manor, one of the starting fives. And you know, we'd go in 1981, uh, Mercury Capri GS, white, straight six, plenty of torque with a moonroof. So, you know, it's in the summer. I perhaps some type of anxiety. Uh, I take a glance at the twins, or as someone call the white boys. You call it whatever you want. Well, they're a family. So from diagonal to us, in front of us, probably like three houses down, here's in front of the Champagnes, Al Champagne. That in his backyard, I found two dead bodies, and that's what I understand. It's like by comparison, what us have done to you. Seriously, that's why I understand logic. And yet, I come back from Vegas, married. Before I was married, but coming back, finding success, and so not being able to tolerate it. Because even in my backyard, 22nd Avenue, Paul Bear, white boys. I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like a setup. Same to ASO America. I'm like, what is my reference? Doing, throwing headbutts from a distance, resembling JC from ASO America next to headquarters. It's almost like, well, what are you trying to prove? Just because you couldn't do what others did. If 3 months in fat camp, they didn't cut it from your 3 year contract. You should have stuck around. Plus, you're getting benefits from your tribe. Fuck, man. I freaking go day to day wondering what the fuck did I ever do to you, man. But yeah, man, my wife and I at one point shared the greatest life for us to come and decide, no, you can't do that. When I had told you I'm realistic, you freaking blew up on me. You can't do that. I'm like, seriously? In my fucking house, in my garage? I wrote a lot of things on a sheet of paper at Fountainhead, but that's all you could focus on. That criminal behavior, like I was saying, Bailey, to justify what you do onto you. Oh, I want to be this hero. Because at one point I was a cleaner. I was a cleaner before, like I told Bailey. I was like 15. My Aunt Laura. We vacuumed some houses, or actually some offices, some big facility. Forgot exactly. I think it was ISS or Service Resources, one of those two. So freaking, I, I go to Aaron's house, my brother, in my first vehicle, and just that quick glance, I spit and look away, and that's it. So there at the wall was Ryan, Richard, Bubba, Chris, Matthew, Sam, and AC. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm busy with my friend, and that's it. So because of that, it's almost like it became like an obsession. So I look at someone's neck tatted with praying hands. You're not gonna think that you got that because of you. Hell no. It's praying hands and a rosary. I pray for many things, but I wouldn't pray to get back at someone just for a quick glance. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like I said, you got to think about it. If you're an only child, you have no one else to talk to. That's all you're gonna do is talk to your parents about your problems, having to go home and think about it. I'm just like, hey man, if it's that bad, last time I went to your house to complain, thinking I'm in the wrong place. Hell no. But that's just the way it is. I reached out to the twins. I got respect for them. I'm not gonna lie, despite their involvement. And I even went as far as to tell Matthew, the uncle, hey man, you guys got thrown under the bus at Striker Sensibility Solution, Phoenix, 51st Street. And I'll tell you something. This is what I was saying. This is what I was telling Karina about code names. and about locations. I got this information and I told him, hey man, even before that last year, because I was going through my messenger, even here when I got this call from this guy that wants me to pitch in some type of or get involved some type of religious service, picked up off the bat because you could even ask my wife Jasmine Santiago, her stepfather Remigio Vasquez had called her on the phone. He accused me of being arrogant, and I'm just here announcing everything and him admitting of having telepathy from a distance, even through a phone call. That's how much. See, I'll tell you the definition of telepathy. It means your perception is high. It means your level of awareness is heightened. Your perception is heightened. It, it's feels from a distance. I have a feeling that you're gonna throw me, you're gonna betray me, and that's everyone. So get that through your head. Everyone here's gonna fail you. It's up to you to see who's worth putting up for, and that's just how it is. But I reached out to Matthew, and I got taken for granted because I was telling him that I got a hold of Jeff Venture. I was telling him about this protest in Las Vegas, and that how I was almost out of a job. Having Justin Chrisman, Phil Rover, been demoted for loading my service duty weapon in front of bank manager, uh, Donald Bennett, Circle Center Village, Las Vegas, Nevada, near Summerlin. And, you know, he comes to me. We're both supposed to take care of this bank during this protest after Countrywide Loans was taken over by Bank of America. Had foreclosed several homes, so in protest, we're like, oh, well, you took my house, so I have nowhere to stay. They'll come in there with night lamps, chairs, furniture, signifying that we're out of a home, so I'm going to stay here. Disrupting the place, this is not good. You could just, you could just, you could just imagine what this developed into. Just even those distractions, you have hostile behavior. So, uh, at first sight of witnesses or protesters, I go inside the banking center, and before in the morning, uh, Jeff Mincher, a true professional, just like Lucian Cornell. That's why it's difficult for me to believe his involvements, and it's almost like that word having to come back to me. But what else can you remember from that sheet of paper at Concentrics, parent company, Cynics? So I had to take a leave of absence from the bank center due to health issues, took a mandatory vacation in Vegas, and thought I was out of a job there. Same thing too. Uh, got a text message from uh, Jonathan Watts as well as Stephen Merritt. And they just asked me, well, how would you like to come to Concentrics? Reading the email during mass termination. So I was like, well, there's going to be a lot of emotions in the HR. I could just imagine what's ahead of me now. So going back to the office, I spoke with Stevie and I'm just like, hey man, they're testing the waters. So went back. They like my attitude, and they like the way I work. They noticed I was ready, presentable, and well, what more can you ask for? I've done this before. Got my work cut out. They left me in charge. So I spoke with Marcy, senior manager. Well, she spoke with me. Actually, she came out before shift ending. Uh, and even before that, a couple of times we'd have some. I'm gonna be honest with you. Brief description and honest description. It's a Hispanic male adult, but this guy's Puerto Rican, talking down to Lawrence. So I quickly tie my jump boots up, and Kelly, one of the HR managers, uh, via aggressing, so freaking, winks at me and feels confident. He got this under control. So later on, that guy, he has his long ponytail waiting outside before getting picked up. So I had my wife picked me up in a 2012 Nissan Altima White. So it felt great, having everything, underneath my belt, whatever I needed. I had my brother and my wife, and for the longest time, I did have Aaron, but I was starting to notice, hey man, he's just using me. All this information, I think if I never would have told anyone anything about my day-to-day conduct, how anyone else would have thought it was anybody, anyone else. Hell no. That's what I told myself that day. Anyone passing through here, they can tell straight up who's speaking the truth. They can tell, hey, that guy's speaking from experience. He ain't bullshitting. So it's unfortunate, having to wake up with injuries. I was like, damn, man, freaking, all you had to do was freaking apply yourself. All you had to do was think positive. But look at this. This is probably the most positive thing I ever heard. I want to work for Intel, so someone decides to work for Khalil Bottling in Tempe. Because he figures, see, this is imagination being created in knowledge. This way, this is me handling all this load. Warehouse speed loader, that's what I call it. It's warehouse loader. This is gonna, and this is attracting it. That's all I had to do was be positive and attract this. Everything in life is gonna come back to you sooner or later. There's the 12 laws of karma. I didn't believe. I thought, like, man, I rule supreme. But in conclusion, I'll probably have to make a part two because it got interesting for sure. So this once again your host Alex Ruben Tobar on that fabulous spot. And Wednesday evening, do you understand me?